lose. Well, but how you lose doing that well offensively is turn the ball over 25 times. For whatever reason, we've been a team that really has seemed to always light up when we see a zone defense, but for whatever reason tonight, we played with a lot. We played a lot like we were unsure of our cuts. We were unsure of in our decision making as we attacked their zone defense. And the uncertainty at which we executed, I thought, led us to a lot of turnovers. You got to give them credit. They have a knack for forcing turnovers, unlike anyone that we've seen, especially the ability to steal and knock the ball out of your hands and then not foul. That's a skill that they have developed to the highest, and you have to give them credit for being who they are a lot better than we were able to be who we are.
Any questions for Coach, please?
Leonard, was there a common denominator in the turnovers, or was it the fact that you guys had equally as many unforced as they forced, it seemed?
Well, it's sometimes it's difficult after the beginning of the game without going back and watching the film and doing your statistical analysis. I just thought, generally speaking, from what I think I saw, was that it was all of the above. I thought it was indecisive. I thought they did a good job of coming behind us, stripping us, and knocking the ball out of our hands, which means that either, they knocked the ball loose from us, which is challenging to do that without fouling. But somehow or another, they've developed that skill to do that. We did turn the ball over a couple of times ourselves, where you call self-inflicted turnovers. But for the most part, I think that they forced us in the turnovers. They had 15 steals, and they turned them into, and they only had seven turnovers themselves. This is a team that has a unique style and system that tonight I thought that it affected us in an adverse way, and there lies a loss. I mean, when I look back at it, you're emotional right now, and you're unhappy that you come in second for the regular season. You play in the championship game in the conference, and you're down, you're disappointed, and you feel in some kind of way. But I'm gonna give them credit because they did an unbelievable job of just stripping us from the ball, and their defense created a mindset with us where we were unsure as to what we're supposed to do. And normally, it's not like we run a whole lot of different zone defenses. We just, for whatever reason, tonight was one of those nights where we're indecisive in our execution. And I thought that we were very lucky to only be down one at halftime. And we made a lot of mental errors, I thought, in the first half. We fought back. I think we went up 7-9. And then we had another rash of turnovers that really cost us the game.
Leonard, Georgia Tech didn't shoot any free throws in the first half, and I think they shot 28 in the second. What were they doing to be able to get to the line so much in the second half?
I think they just decided not to try to run a whole lot of offense, and they just drove the ball. And they have obviously we're a pretty decent defensive team. They only turned the ball over. I mean, they're really clever with the ball. They protected the ball, and they drove the ball to the basket. And we were called for the fouls, and I'm sure we committed some of them. We drove to the basket, and they were able to defend us without fouling. They did a much better job defending us without fouling, and then we did with them, even though we put them on the foul line when they were driving the ball.
Coach Dane Thompson with the three-point conversion. You've been in your share of games of March, and after tonight, what type of mindset does this type of game get you prepared for as you get ready for the tournament starting next weekend?
Well, I think that the mindset that we have to be in is learn from the mistakes we make, and hopefully we will be smarter and execute better going into the tournament because we realize what our shortcomings have been. I think we'll be mentally prepared. I expect us to give tremendous effort. I think we'll rejuvenate our spirits, and we'll be mentally prepared to go to the NCAA tournament. I think we will be a challenge because of the quality of our depth. I think that the way we normally play on the offensive end and defensive end, the night we didn't play up to our potential. But I think overall, I think that that we'll be prepared because we'll rejuvenate our spirits. Sure, we're disappointed. We got a lot of kids with tears in the locker room, but that's part of the pain of losing the game when you don't play as well as you think you're capable of playing. But I feel very confident with the character we have on the team, the culture that we've been able to develop, that we'll bounce back and come together as a team and be prepared for the NCAA tournament. The good news is that we know we're going to the NCAA tournament.
Bosa, was he already coming in with something, dealing with something on the hand? And I guess, did he re-aggravate that tonight on that block early in the game?
No, there was nothing from an injury standpoint that was affecting us tonight. We just got outplayed by a team that stripped us of the ball. We turned the ball over 25 times, and we didn't answer the bell tonight. And that's the story of this game. They did an unbelievable job of stripping us with the ball. We wasn't strong enough. We wasn't something was a step back from the way we normally execute. We got to learn from this, and we just got to move on. We can't have a pity party. We look at the films, dissect it, look at the pluses and minuses, and prepare ourselves for the tournament next week.
Leonard, what's the plan now? Do you guys head to Indianapolis right now? When do you get up there?
We leave tomorrow late. I think sometimes late afternoon or early evening.
And you'll stay in Greensboro until then?
Tomorrow, yes.
Yeah, okay. And then I wanted to ask you about the game, Leonard. You talk about wanting to learn from something like this, but do you expect, unless you face them again, are there other zones that are like this?
It wasn't necessarily the zone. It was just our lack of execution against the zone. You've seen us play against zones before. I mean, this was not a zone that was unlike any of the other zones that we have gone against. Now, we have not played, I don't know whether we played against a zone. This might have been the first time we played against anyone who run a zone all year long to any extent. Maybe a few people have played zone here and there, but because we shoot the ball so well, most people have not, challenged us from a zone defensive standpoint. And we shot the ball well tonight, but I think once we were indecisive, I thought that, he did the wise thing by sticking with the zone, and that seemed to create some difficulty for us. Now, even when they went man to man, I thought we were a little better. I mean, our statistics show, that when we got shots and didn't turn the ball over, that we were pretty, efficient. But the turnovers before we got to shoot the ball was the Achilles heel for us tonight.
Coach Hamilton?
Yes.
Coach Hamilton, Chris Seidel from Hermiton Radio. I was just looking at the stats. 1 steal tonight for the whole entire game. Is that something we got to work on for the NCAA tournament, get more steals to get more points and get everything rolling?
Well, normally we're a team that gets a lot of deflections. But tonight, they kept the ball in the hands of really sure dribblers. And they didn't put themselves in a position where they could turn the ball over. Rather than passing the ball, they did a very good job of dribbling. And you got to give them credit. If you go back and check, we one of the better teams in the country were getting deflections and steals. The night, they did a very good job of protecting the ball. And tonight, we did not do a very good job protecting the ball. And you're going to have those nights.
Coach, you mentioned efficiency. Scotty was 8 for 10 from the floor tonight. You did have the 6 turnovers, but on the offensive side, was he the efficient type of player you wanted on the offensive side? We're not talking about the turnover side.
Yeah, most of the points that he scored was down the stretch, and it was kind of in desperation. And you're not going to win many basketball games, if that's the way you got to score your points. We have to score you know, if you're going to win, it's normally with ball movement, ball reversal, and good decision making. And the fact that he was able to score points when we were trying to come from behind is admirable and shows a lot about his talents and his skills. But most of the time when you're winning, you have a team that's executing your system and everybody kind of is involved, those points he showed tonight show that he has tremendous potential, to do a lot of things from an offensive standpoint. And he is to be commended from that. But as a team, I thought that we just didn't execute as well, and that caused us to, turn the ball over a lot more than any time that I think this might be a record, all-time record that I can remember, turning the ball over. And you have to give this team's credit. They've done that to everybody in ACC for 8 straight games. And so sometimes you can complain about what you didn't do, and sometimes you just got to give a team credit for this doing an excellent job. And tonight they did an excellent job of creating havoc for us, creating a lot of indecision on our guys' part. They were in our space, poking and reaching and grabbing. And, some of the steals probably you could say questionable from a contact standpoint, but, we have to protect the ball. And we just didn't protect the ball, and they poked it from us. Some of it looked like it was contact on the mate, but still, when you have the ball in your possession and you're holding it with some strength, regardless if whether they fouling you, whether they're not, you normally shouldn't lose the ball. And tonight, we just didn't do a very good job of protecting the ball.
Any more questions for Coach?